Hello my beautiful friends and family from all across the world. My name is Brian Turner and I have been bodybuilding for 10 years, been vegan for 3 years of it. I have a man bun to prove that fact, and today we're gonna be talking about all the reasons why a vegan diet sucks. Okay, this is the #1 quoted question when it comes to people talking to me about a vegan diet, especially in the gym. They say there's not enough protein, so I couldn't possibly get swole on that diet. Well, there is honestly plenty of protein, but I come from a very non-vegan background of bodybuilding, so I was eating tons of whey, tons of milk, tons of chicken, and a lot of red meat. And so I didn't even know that there were other protein sources. So if you're someone who can't think of another protein source other than meat and dairy, well, just think about that. It's not so much that there's not a lot of protein sources, it's just that you don't have that much variety in your diet and you don't know of other protein sources. For example, I could make a batch of pasta with a little bit of bean pasta in there and it could have 25 grams of protein in there. And it's the same thing as if you threw a couple meatballs in your pasta. Or for example, I'll do a stir fry with vegetables, rice, chickpeas, some black beans, and a little bit of teriyaki sauce to tie it all together, and that has over 25-30 grams of protein in there. It's really not that hard to get your protein. #2, what I hear a lot is you have to eat more. Well, I hear this a lot, but it's not necessarily the truth. I think what happens is a lot of people are so used to eating prepackaged foods. Like for example, when I was beginning bodybuilding 10 years ago, I was eating, I have to admit, a lot of weird stuff, and I thought I was being healthy. And I would eat like tons of healthy frozen dinners, and that would be a ton of protein in there. It'd be a ton of calories, 500 calories in just a little frozen thing. So you eat 2 of those, you got 1,000 calories knocked out. You eat a little bit of some, I don't know, one other thing, and you've already got 1,500 calories in a meal, and that makes it seem like it's really easy, but really you just microwaved a bunch of stuff and I had a bowl of oats. You know what I mean? So again, it's just another one of those things where you just don't have that many ideas of food in your head. Like I didn't either. I didn't know that there was more things that I could eat because I didn't really care so much. So I was just okay with eating the same 5 things over and over and over and over and over. And that works, but it doesn't mean that it's untrue that you can go vegan without having to eat just rice or whatever it is that people think is so difficult to eat a bunch of. Next up, #3, why veganism sucks. B12. Everybody's always saying B12, 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 B12. And the minute you talk to somebody who's not vegan about veganism, all of a sudden they actually care about the vitamins that are in their body. And if you look at an average person's day-to-day diet, a lot of people are not hitting all of their recommended daily intake of all those different vitamins because for a lot of people, they're not eating a lot of variety in the first place. Again, by having more variety in your diet, you'd be hitting those B12s. For example, having any sort of fermented food in your diet, like miso soup, or having nutritional yeast in your diet, or you can actually just take B12 vitamins either sublingual or as a pill. And this is a funny fact because a lot of people think, well, I don't want to take a supplement every single day. Well, a lot of people take supplements every single day regardless of their diet type. But for example, I gave my non-vegan, a meat-eating friend, B12 pills, and the next day he was like zinging with energy. The next day he got B12 himself, a whole bottle of it, now he takes it every single day. So it's not necessarily that because you eat meat, you're going to make sure that you hit all the vitamins that there are out there. You're probably still deficient in vitamins, just like everybody who doesn't have a completely perfectly balanced diet, and that's okay, but it's also okay to supplement stuff that your body needs. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of people of all different types of diets are actually lacking in B12. Try it out. Okay, and if people aren't questioning their protein or the healthiness of the vegan diet, #4, the one that I get the most is either vegan food is really expensive at the grocery store or it's really boring stuff. And I would say, once again, and I think you get in the theme of this video, is just you don't have variety. You just don't know that many different types of food because you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone of eating what every other person eats. Now, it's either expensive because you're eating only pre-made foods, and whether you're doing that vegan or non-vegan, it's gonna be expensive. A bag of potatoes, which is vegan or non-vegan diets, we all eat potatoes, right, is only $2.99 for 10 pounds here in San Diego, and that'll last you for a really long time. It's very cheap. There's lots of food in there. The replacement foods are really tasty, you know, like the orange mandarin chicken Gardein stuff, or like the Beyond Meat burgers. Those are really tasty, but realistically, that's unhealthy food in the first place. Vegan or non-vegan, you shouldn't be eating burgers every single day. So if that's something that you're comparing, if you're saying a 5-pound bag of ground beef is so much cheaper than a couple of Beyond burgers, you're eating burgers too much. You're eating ground beef too much. So when it comes to food being expensive or being boring, it's either you're only buying pre-packaged foods, so you only have a limited amount of things, as many as they come out with that are pre-made for you and that are also very expensive, or you can do anything in the world. Every food in the world is basically vegan. It just has a little bit of dairy and meat thrown in at the end, and you can just quickly make any of those things without dairy or meat. So what I'm saying again is you need to expand your horizons of what food is out there, because if you think food is boring, then you just don't know that much food. There is an infinite amount of food. I've done so many different days where it's like a Greek full day eating, a Mexican full day eating, a French full day eating. There are so many different types. So I encourage you to look around the internet and see what different countries and different types of people eat and just try some of those. Try to make yourself a little, like a little jambalaya. Or try to make yourself a Greek dish like spanakopita. There's so many good things that are out there, but again, we're just limited and we just like to eat the same thing over and over. And number 5, the final reason that I get is it's too hard to eat out. It's hard to eat at different restaurants with friends. There's just not enough options for me. If this is a reason that you don't do one diet or the other diet or whatever, it means you're eating too much food out. Nobody, no matter what kind of diet you're on, should be eating food out every single day, especially restaurants. You shouldn't go to a restaurant every single day, whether that's for health reasons, you shouldn't be eating it, or for money reasons. You shouldn't be spending $25 every single day at dinner at a different restaurant, especially if your friends require you to be at the same restaurant as them every single day, spending all that money. I think there's something wrong in all three of those different respects. And while I do understand that, you know, in a social aspect, it is really nice when there is a restaurant that everybody can sit down at. You can all be social and eat, because it's a great thing that humans like to do, talk over food. But with the way that veganism is going, it's growing every single day. There's always new restaurants and pop-up chains and stuff happening in very large metropolitan cities. It's gonna get more into the smaller population places. It's even going overseas all over the place. So if that's a reason for you, you just wait. But I also encourage you once again to not eat as, you know, unhealthily as you do, and try to make more food on your own. Making food on your own is what true food is. If you talk to any chef in the world and all of your experience, all the things that you were talking about in terms of food were just from fast food places you went to, restaurants you went to in America, different things like that, they would be like, have you tried cooking with some of these ingredients? Have you ever actually tried to make a risotto? Do you know what the flavors of these spices are? You know what I mean? You can't get a true understanding of food by just eating out all the time, and you can't really appreciate it because there's something that's great about cooking your own food. We've done it for thousands of years, and just recently we've started handing that responsibility over to somebody else. So there it is, my friends. You probably weren't expecting this when you came into this video, but there's the 5 reasons that people most commonly say that veganism sucks, and I just can't accept it. You know what I mean? If you have a legitimate reason, I totally can say, okay, I get the reason why that doesn't make sense to you, but these 5 reasons are the ones that I get the most every single time I talk to somebody about it in the gym, and they just simply are all refutable. They're all not true in my opinion, and they all just show something about you that I think you need to change. Maybe as you start to get used to making your own food and working with different ingredients and stuff, it would be a lot easier for you to move to a vegan diet. But again, these are just the reasons that I hear the most, and I wanted to make a video real quick to explain that none of these are really that relevant if you are actually interested. So I hope you guys like this. I hope it gave you a little bit more information. If you have any other excuses and refutes or anything like that you'd like to add in the comments, I'd love to see them. You guys are amazing. Thank you for checking out my video. Check out the rest of my channel for acne, fitness, veganism, tons of different food. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Team Beyond the Week, CT.
Lift heavy or die, MIRIN, motherfucker.
Team Beyond.